Hello and welcome back to Factorio C Block. In our last episode, we talked about kind of where we left off with the last bit of metal starter, I guess, for lack of a better word here, making the making the mineral sludge out of crystals, and then mixing that in with the stuff we were making from the other sources, and coming up with a kind of stable solution for metal production. And so stable, in fact, that, well, we're completely backed up and we have no usage of any of it. So we talked about what to do next, and I kind of laid out three separate paths. One was to continue working on metals, pushing our way down toward the gold and titanium, aluminum 2, copper 3, etc. All of these things down here. That was one option. The second option was to push our way toward oil refining, which I can never find, but here it is, actually, not that bad. Oil processing, that starts out with blue algae, goes through a few other steps to gas and oil, and then gets us into oil processing, which will get us the kind of toward the Angel's Petrochem version of the standard oil processing steps in the base game of Factorio, which will lead, of course, to blue science. I don't know that metal leads to anything in specific. It didn't look like it did, actually. Let's see, where were we at? I forgot where we were at here. This, then maybe some of that. Doesn't look like it leads to anything specific, but maybe it does. But the metal type stuff. Or the third option is farming. And we did do a little bit of farming, or did look at the farming at the very end of the last episode, a very little bit of it. Garden processing 1 we looked at, which gave us this garden right here. This garden seed extractor, which we put in a desert garden. It gave us 16 of these alien plant life samples, and it opted for the 40% chance to get 5 Biome seeds. And of course, you can see we have smaller chances to give us other seeds for other things. So that's the third option. And while not all the voting is in yet, this is the option that I think I'm going to go with, just because it feels like something that we should be doing. And also because, well, it does feel like something we should be doing because we should be doing the whole thing. But it feels like something that I should do because I've never done this portion before. I have done, at least in the standard Angel Bob's arena, the metal processing down to several tiers at least. I don't remember how far I actually went. And I have done the petrochem, at least to a certain point as well. So at this point, it's the farming and garden processing are new to me, so I think that makes sense. And then we picked out the point that if we're going to do this, then the thing that stands out the most that we need to do is this optimized biome planner science pack. The science or the labs that we have. Actually, let's start one research and then we'll talk about it in a moment, as well as that one. The science that we talked about, or the science labs we have, rather, will accept that science pack. So by making them, we can obviously do the research using those. And so it kind of made sense to me to do that since we have the labs that can already take those, rather than working our way toward the next lab and the next science pack that we have to have the next lab for. So given that, if we look at that again, that opens up immediately afterward these 3 farming 1 steps: desert farming 1, swamp farming 1, and temperate farming 1, as well as this fermentation processes step here. So that seems like the way we should go. All 4 of those take this new science pack. So that means we have to complete this science pack and set that up. And set the science pack up and get it going before we can get started on it. I'm going to go ahead and let this thing go, and we're also going to talk about garden processing 2 when we get into it. But I'm not sure we actually want to use it. But we'll get it. We'll figure that part out when we get into it. I thought this would go a little faster. I'm going to go ahead and let this finish and let the science pack finish, and then we'll come right back. And we're back, just as the science pack finishes. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that for the moment. And I went ahead and pulled the results out of this. So we have the 16 alien plant life samples and the 5 Biome seeds. Because we did the other thing that we talked about, the garden processing, there it is, garden processing 2. And that gives us 3 additional recipes for the garden processing, which give, instead of giving some alien plant life samples and some seeds, they give this 100%, 32 alien plant life samples. And while that's good, which we'll see in a minute, I don't know that that's better at this point. I think we're better off sticking with these recipes here, depending upon which gardens we actually have available to us, and we'll get to those in just a moment. So the science pack finished. Let's go into Helmod and work up a plan for making that science pack. That'll be under here, science stuffings, and it's this one here. That will take to make one of those. I can't remember what we were making for the other sciences. 0.8 and 0.6667. So somewhere in that neighborhood. We'll do the math in a minute. Probably do 0.8 because this takes 10. That would be 8 of those, and this is 8 of those. Yeah, we'll probably do 0.8 of that too. We'll see what it takes though, and then we can adjust the scale. What that takes is these alien plant life samples. So the only way to make these is from at this point is from processing one of those gardens. These are recycling recipes, so those don't count. So we definitely have to do the garden thing. But I'm guessing, and I'm operating on the assumption that we're going to want these seeds to grow these plants, like binafran here, will be grown with sand and saline water, and 5 of those seeds will produce 30 to 40 binafran. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but I'm guessing this is a Factorio player, given the fact that this one is Prime Dead Alien and this one is Nilau Virgin. I'm guessing this is another Factorio player, but I'm actually familiar, I don't think, with this person. But maybe I'm just not grasping who it actually is referring to. Then we also have Elendil Lamone and Zombie Eucalyptus and Sunsurcress. And then we have over here Wheaton and Tyanton and Okari Gnome. So you can probably guess who most of those are, if not all of them. But anyway, so I'm guessing we're going to want to do the one to keep the seeds, because while we do have some seeds in the box down here, we don't have a horrendous amount of them. Actually, what we have mostly is the plants. Actually, we have all is the plants and some trees. So we're going to definitely want to keep the seeds, at least for now, so that we can have the seeds to go on. Although the recipes here also include ways to make seeds from the plants themselves. So we can make 5.5 binafran seeds from 5 binafran, and then we can take 5 of those 5.5 binafran seeds and some saline water and some sand, and make them into 30 to 40 binafran, loop it back, and crank out the binafran. So we're going to do something like that in another episode. So back to Helmod here. So in addition to those, which means we're going to be severely limited on these, because we can only get these from processing gardens, and we have to get the gardens from the world. We'll go out and get those in a little bit, but we can also do these ground samples. And they are made here from protective scaffolding and seedling nests. It's a 1-to-1 machine ratio. That's kind of nice. Protective scaffolding is made from wood and paper. We have both of those already being made. 1 wood, 2 paper, times 4 machines there makes us enough to make 10 of these going. And then we also need seedling nests, which will take soil, compost, and water. And so given all of those, and that's in a liquefier, and so given all of that, why don't we just knock this down to 0.8. That's going to put this at 3.2, which isn't great, but at least it keeps this science on par with the other ones, because, at least I assume, I should have checked, yes, these are, no, these are much, much less than the other ones. So we only need 1 of these for every 4 of those, for those 3 researchers anyway. These are more like 1-to-1 though, so it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to do roughly the same amount here. Yeah, the real showstopper is going to be the plant life samples, and we're going to have to figure out how to handle those as best we can. But for right now, we've got this going. We've got this kind of plan here. We could just go ahead and do 1, build it for 1 because of the scale out, but we could also knock it down a bit to get this down to 1 of these, 3 of those, and 7.5 of those, for example. It kind of probably doesn't matter because, again, the alien plant life samples are going to be our showstopper there. But we could do that. That way it gets down to this, and we're not going to need as many of these anyways. We're not going to be able to produce as many as we'll need, probably, so we can probably just limit it to that. So, soil, compost, or should I just pin this? I think, yeah. Soil, compost, wood, paper. We have paper here. We have soil coming out here. Right? Soil? Yes. Soil coming out here. That's made from compost and sand. So we have compost here we could swipe easily enough. The excess stuff that's going into compost, or the excess that's going into what makes the compost, which is the brown algae, is just getting flushed here as saline water. So we do have saline water also. So any of the recipes that will take the saline water in the future, we could potentially siphon that off of this build here, which is all ultimately being run off of our mud processing or mud manufacturing, which is largely here just for our landfill, but we can obviously steal some more of that. And then we have, what was this again? Oh, that was the thingies from over there. I never hooked this back up. We obviously don't need it, haven't needed it, but we will need it, so we're gonna have to steal some of the cellulose fibers from this build here. We'll have to siphon some of them off of one of these and reduce this slightly. I'll probably just siphon it off of this top one here. Reduce the production of this whole system slightly in terms of fuel to get enough of those in here to keep the paper running. But that'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be totally fine with that. So we could easily build this. But we're going to have a way of getting the alien plant life samples. And in order to do that, we need to go on a little bit of a bender here and find where we can get those, which is all those gardens. We do have access to a few of them. I need to go over here, actually. In addition to the 4 desert gardens, here we are, and 2 swamp gardens that I have in my pocket, here's a couple more. There. Those are both desert gardens. And then down here, there's some more. These are desert trees and desert garden I saw. So we can grab those too. This is where the bots come in handy here because they can reach out and grab somebody. There's a desert garden over there. I don't know if they can reach that. Oh, you are going to go that far. Okay, good. And let's see. Where else do we have any within range? Up there? It's trees, but we can go pick them up anyway. Down here we have trees and a desert garden. Up here there's some over there. We'll have to work our way over there. What do you have up here? These are puffer nests. We talked about those. Those were used for something or other in the future. But basically we need to either use the bots to get to some of these other islands, or we need to build a causeway with our landfill to get to those other islands, which won't be a problem either at all. We can just do it. But we need to collect these things, not specifically the trees, but the gardens that are around the area, so that we can do this work. And so it's really just about doing that. But I think I will do some of that off camera, maybe, because I think it's going to be a little bit repetitive for you all, I think. And then that way we'll have some when we come back to the next episode to actually start looking at farming. Let's grab those. I better not grab those because I don't know what those are useful for. I also don't know what's over there. I'm guessing those are the same because they're the same color. Yeah, those are the same color. So we don't even want those. We want to come over here and get these. And so that's a bit of a causeway. So I think I will save that for the next, or for the off camera. So let's go ahead and build this build, and we'll call that an episode. Easily enough, I think. So we need, if I want to do 7.5, do I care? I don't know that I really care that much. Yeah, we could do it that way, though. So 8, 8, 3 is 19. 19 of these. 5, 10, 15, 20. That's good enough. And then 1 liquefier is going to be... I never remember which tab those are in. Right there. Alright, we can plan this out in blueprint mode, and then the thing will get us going. So that goes into these. These also go into those. So we'll do like... see, that's going to be those things there. This will be paper and wood. Wood is over here. It's all right here together. Okay. We'll need 3 of these. Paper and wood, and then the soil and compost. That's what it's called. And then we need 7.5 of these. Those will take in from these two, and then those will direct feed into... I think direct feed is the best way to handle this. Yeah, I think so. I should have done it the other way. This way. There we go. And then you're going to finish that liquefier. Build it. Thank you. Those will direct feed in, and then on the other side we'll have the output belt and the input belt for the alien plant life samples. We'll have to maybe automate some of these, so we're going to need a couple more of those garden thingies, one for each type of garden. Seed extractors, one for each type of garden, so I'm going to make 2 more of those. I have the clay bricks. We're finally using our clay bricks that we made a while back. I knew we would need them eventually. We did use them for a couple of other things too recently, but we're finally using some of them. Not to the point where we need to have them on a bus yet, necessarily, but at least we're using some of them. Let's change this maybe so that it can go maybe like this. Change these guys over to here someplace. They're going to output something like this. And then back in, so we actually need to change that spacing a little bit. Like that. And then these here, or this here, will go on to another belt over here. You need water. Where do I have water nearby? Right there's water. Then let's swap these guys so that this one is on the end. For that reason, and that reason alone. I left extra space there. I think that's what I want, because I think I want to do... I don't need to actually do that. I don't need the extra space. Alright, so this is going to be water. It's going to have an input belt for soil and compost. What I'll do here is I will just do a splitter, and I will put right filter compost. God only knows where compost is. Somewhere in this area, I imagine. There it is. Pick that up, and the sand that I picked up can go into here. And then we want to split this one as well. I'm eventually going to have to add more to this, but that won't be a problem. I'll just add more, and we'll just change the way this belt runs somehow. We're not using... Well, we're going to use this, so maybe I should add more to this now. Yes, let's add more to this now. Let's actually change what I just did. Let's move these also. Those and these. And then for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and put the trees and all the plants in here, including those seeds, because we're not going to use them just yet. The Levac fish too, even though it's not the same concept. I have actually some of each garden now. Okay, good. Oops, how did I do that? And then let's add 2 more of these up here. Change this a bit, change that a bit. Add 2 more of these guys, and that means I'll need 1 more factory here. I should look. How much of that am I actually making or using? That mud. I'm going to be using enough from 6 assembly machines if I run this constantly. Okay, we're going to need more than that then, because the 4 were based on this. Which means I'm probably going to need more sand. I don't know how the compost is going to work out, but we're probably going to need more sand also. So we should probably do that, but I'm not going to do it right now. We're just going to get this started, and then we're probably going to have to change this 2 or 3 times anyway. So we'll wait for that to happen and then go from there. Let's do this, and then this comes back like that, like this, and then these can come together. Actually, I think I'll take them this way and then bring them together. Like that. Alright, and then those will go into here together. This is wood and paper, so we have wood here. We can bring the paper up. I think what I will do is... Oh! There's a sale on paper. I think what I will do is do a little bit of this. Like this. Put a belt in here, and you can grab from there, you can grab from there, you can do a offset there, Although I only need one side, actually. So yeah, go back to the other side. Go back to the normal. Okay. And then this can come up, and we'll have to mix it in with that wood, which means I'll have to do a crossing for this. Let's bring this straight up. I'm going to take these guys again and move them over this way. That's fine. And then the paper can come up. Let's see. These guys are going to take both of those. I have a simple, basic build here. You'll go there. We'll do the rest over there later. Oh, wait, it's just one. It's just one of those. Oh, yes, it's just one of those. In which case, I want this over here instead. You can have all the things there. Just have to hook the water up, of course. This will come over into here. I want it to be on the other side of the belt. I want it to be on that side of the belt for logic and simplicity reasons. There you go. So we'll do that. We'll force it onto that side of the belt. This will go here, and then this can come out like that, and we'll pick up all of those. Wood will come in off a splitter right here. Of course, I have a power pole right there. Actually, it would have been fine with the paper being on either side of the belt, but that's fine. This way it's doubly safe. That one, this one, and then you'll output short. How much are you outputting? 0.75. That's fine. The other ones are outputting 0.75 together, so that's way more than fine. They'll do something like this. We'll need power. There, and there. That'll get us all of those. And then I think the easy part comes in, which is to take this like this. 2, 3, 4. Out of belts. Maul time. Guess I should look for... Oh, I just remembered. Someone told me a couple of episodes ago, this is the mall right here, Wally, that I should maybe consider putting back in the... I think I'm okay with those and those. Putting back in the Bob's Warfare and possibly Bob's Enemies. Even though biters are turned off, it'll get me things like better power armor in one of them. Or maybe, I don't know, both of them maybe, I don't know. It'll give me better power armor and maybe some other better stuff too that I might want to have. And I'm assuming, and I said this out into that at that time, but I'm assuming that I can add those in kind of at any time without too much issue. Am I out of inserters? I am. Make a bunch of those. And so that's 0.75 divided by 10, so that's very easy to accomplish. I gotta bring that water in. Right, water. What are you doing, Wally? Here? Of course it isn't. Let's do this. Off by 1. I'm going to let that come out. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to clean that out, and we're just going to connect that belt up normally and not have the doubly secure safety measure there. There we go. That's good. This will just go in like this, and it'll be fine. Anyway, that's making all the things now. We've got these now, and so then we just need the science stuff coming in, and then the science coming out. Both are a 0.75, so you can do that, and then we'll bring the science out here, and that'll work out okay. We're going to want to have a long arm basically set up here. That can go together, maybe? And then... No, I should have done it the other way. Then it lines up. Makes me happier. And then these will go in here. Oh, I need another power pole up there, though. These will go in like that. Yeah. And that's where I will put the, right now, I'm just going to put them into a box, the samples, and then we'll have to process them accordingly. But for right now, that'll just be what happens right like that. The first one's going to be greedy, of course, but this will let us take these sciences up into the science labs, like so. And then, only took me 37 hours to craft that first optimized biome planner science pack. We're just going to do this, go up and around, and then back in on the outside here. Oops, I broke the connection there. Actually, what I could even do is that or this and merge them in that way. Or maybe I want to do it this way for arbitrary reasons. Let's do right filter red. And then we obviously need to have some combination of this there. Nope, undo that. G-flip that there. Lining up the power poles. But I didn't do it over there. Okay. I will change it, because it matters. And these are the regular power poles with no lights because they're next to the labs. And I like the ones next to the labs to be pretty. I missed this one, though. I misaligned it. That one's right. Everything else right? Right. Good. I mean, these ones over here are casting a lot of light into this area, but that's okay. Alright, so they're grabbing those science packs. We've probably used all of that stuff by now, though. I want to take this up. I want to take those and put them down here. I thought I had a third. I do have a third. You were bringing it over. We want to do temperate and that one and this one. Temperate swamp and whatever it is. And then I want to take this like this. And then come around. Split here. Left the... no. Oh, they're probably over here, aren't they? Yes. Those. And then this can just keep going around, and I'm just going to have somebody grab them off of those belts when the time comes, whenever they can, into a box, because I don't need this box anymore. So I can do this, actually. Put them into a box. That would be all the seeds and things. So you can go maybe there and there, and we can do output. That was bad. Output here and here, and Wally, you're slipping today, and there. And then I can just shove these in, shove those in, shove those in, and let them run all of those down. And I'll go fish for the other ones and bring them back, and we'll take care of them that way. But then all the seeds get to go in here. I guess if science goes in there, then I'll have to fish it out. Actually, it won't. It won't go in there because of the way the filter is here. So I think we'll leave this here, though. And this gives us at least a start on the on making this new science, and then we can keep it going and do some of this, do some of these farm researches so we start growing crops in the next episode. So thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.